So we are discussing about control statements in Java. In the last class, we have seen conditional statements, if condition, if else condition, nested if else, and then switch case statement. So they all comes under conditional statements. So based on the condition, we can execute set of group of statements. Now today we are going to discuss another type of control statements. We call them as looping statements. Looping or iterative statement. Looping or iterative statements. So first we need to understand what is a loop and what is iteration. So loop is nothing but a set of statements or group of statements which we are going to execute multiple times or repetitively we are executing. And that is basically called as a loop. Suppose you have written program for 10 lines or 50 lines and I want to execute certain number of lines or multiple times I want to repeat them. So without writing the same statement again and again duplicated, so same statements I will write only once, but I want to repeat multiple times. So in those cases, we can try to use looping statements. Okay, there are three different loops are available in Java. While loop is one type of loop, and a do while, and then for loop. So these are the three different types of loops are available in Java. And there is one more for loop is also there, which is also called enhanced for loop. Enhanced for loop. This is normal for loop, and this is do while loop, and this is while loop. So there are totally 4 types of loops, but this enhanced for loop is also called as or each loop. And this is especially designed for collections. Whenever you are working with arrays concept or array list or hash map, so those type of concepts, whenever you are using, so we have to prefer this loop, enhanced for loop or for each loop. Okay, so we will discuss this later. So when you're discussing about arrays concept, I will introduce you how we can work with enhanced for loop. Now today we are going to discuss about 3 different loops, while loop, do while loop, and then for loop. Okay, so first of all, what is the use of loop? Why we need to use this looping statement? Let me just give you a simple example. Suppose through program, I want to print 1 to 10 numbers. As I want to print 10 to 10 numbers through Java program. So normally how we will write? You have to write 10 print statements, right? System.out.println 1. Then again system.out.println 2. Then again system.out.println 3. So like this you need to write up to 10 statements. System.out.println then 10. So like this you need to write 10 statements. So if you just want to print 1 to 10 numbers, you have to write 10 statements in your Java program. So instead of writing these many statements, what we can do is, we just write only one statement and that I will repeat 10 times. Okay, I will write only one statement, then I will repeat 10 times. Instead of writing 10 statements, I will write the statement only once. And then I will repeat the same statement 10 times. Each time I'll increase this value by 1. Okay, so each time I will increase this value by 1. So then I will get 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10. So that is a usage of using looping statement. Instead of writing multiple statements, you can simply write one single statement and that you can repeat multiple times. N number of times you can repeat. So because of that, what is an advantage is, it will reduce the code. We can reduce the code and we can avoid duplication. You can avoid the duplication and it will automatically reduce the code. So that is the main usage of using looping statement. But whenever you are writing, whenever using any looping statement, it can be while loop or do while or for loop, any looping statement, 3 things are important things. So we have to know 3 things. We need to mainly concentrate on 3 things. So the first important thing is, where exactly we are starting point. Okay, the starting point is very important. Where exactly we are starting point. And how many times we have to repeat. How many times we need to repeat. Starting point. And how many times we have to repeat means what? The condition is important. Condition says how many times we have to repeat. How many times we have to repeat. And the first thing is what? Initialization. Initialization means starting point. Where exactly we have to start. Where to start. Where to start is initialization. Second thing is condition. Condition says how many times we have to repeat. How many times you have to repeat this statement. And third thing, incrementation or decrementation. This says in every iteration or every round of execution how much value we have to decrease or how much value we want to decrease. So if I look at here 10 statement, in every statement we are increasing by 1. Or sometimes we may decrease the values also. So in every iteration we have to know how much value we have to increment and how much value we have to decrement. So these are the 3 important things which we have to remember while writing the looping statement. Initialization, condition, incrementation or decrementation, which is very, very important. Any loop, it can be for loop or while loop or do while loop. We need to know 3 things. Initialization means where we have to start. Condition means how many times you have to repeat. Incrementation or decrementation means how much value you have to increment in every iteration or how much value you have to decrement in every iteration. So we have to know these 3 things before using any type of loop. Okay. So simple example, let's say I want to print 1 to 10 numbers. Now, first let us start with the while loop. And once you understood all 3 different type of loops, and finally we will compare. So what are the differences between those 3 loops, and when we have to use while loop, when we have to use do while, and when we have to use for loop. Okay, that we will discuss later. So first initially we will try to understand about the loops, syntaxes and how to use with the different examples. The first part, while loop. So how to use this while loop? What is the syntax? So in the while loop, we need to first write a while keyword. In the bracket, we have to specify the condition. And inside the block, what are the statement we want to repeat? So those statements we have to keep inside the while loop. And then after writing all the statements, we have to write one incrementation or decrementation statement. And before starting the while loop, we need to write initialization part. Where we have to start, that we need to specify before the while loop. And inside the while loop, we need to specify condition, that is decides how many times we have to repeat the statements. And inside the block, we can specify the statements, like what are all statements we want to repeat multiple times, you can specify them inside the block. After completion of the statements, we need to specify incrementation or decrementation. So this is the actual syntax of while loop. Now by using this, I will show you some examples and you can understand. Right. While loop. Let's go back to the Eclipse and create new package for today. New package, day 5, click on finish. Okay, now I'm creating a new class and my class name is while loop demo. Take this main method also, let's set finish. Okay, so first we will see some basic examples so that we can clearly understand the looping statement. The first example, example 1. So in example 1, I want to just print 1 to 10 numbers. 1 to 10 numbers. Okay, so now here, what is the starting point? 1 to 10 numbers. What is the starting point? 1. So we will take one variable called int I equal to 1. Some iteration. I is representing some iteration. You can take any variable. Okay, I'm just saying I. Int I equal to 1. That is saying initialization point. What is this? This is initialization. Now we'll directly start while loop. While in the bracket, this is the syntax. So while loop starting point, the while loop ending point. Okay. Now inside the while loop, here we need to put some condition. So when we have to stop, as soon as I value becomes 11, we have to stop. So I less than or equal to 10, I'll put condition. I less than or equal to 10 means what? Whenever I value becomes 10, 10 less than or equal to 10 condition is true, right? So even 10 also will print. But I value, whenever I value becomes 11, this condition becomes false. So whenever this condition becomes false, then the while loop will stop repeating. Now inside this, I will just print the value of I. And as soon as I printed a value of I immediately, I will increase the value of I by 1. I plus plus means I value will be increased by 1. So here in this we put condition. This is called condition. And this is incrementation. Incrementation or decrementation. So all 3 things we mentioned. So this is initialization, says where we have to stop. Condition means how many times you have to repeat. Incrementation, how much value we have to increase in every iteration. So if I look at this, run as Java application, you can see here it will just print 1 to 10 numbers. Exactly 1 to 10 numbers it is got printed. So now let us try to understand how exactly this loop is working. First thing, the starting point is what? I. 1 is starting point. So what is the current value of I here? 1. 1 less than or equal to 10. Condition is true. As soon as this condition is true, then it will enter into the block. So here it is printed 1. I value, current value of I is what? 1. So 1 is got printed. And after printing I value 1, then what I am doing here? Incrementing I plus plus. Now I becomes 2 now. I becomes 2. Now again it will go up. And now current value of I is what? 2. Right? 2. 2 less than or equal to 10. Again condition is true. Now again it will come inside. Now the current value of I is what? 2. So 2 is got printed. Then after that incremented. Now I value becomes 3. Now again it will go up. Now current value of I is what? 3. 3 less than or equal to 10. Condition is true again. Now again come inside. Now I value is 3. And then incrementation 4. Again 4 less than or equal to 10. Condition is true. Now come inside. Again 4 is got printed. So like this it will go on till 9 for example, or till 10. Then I plus plus becomes 11. I value becomes 11. Again it will go up. 11 less than or equal to 10. Condition become false. As soon as this condition become false, then it will stop repeating the loop. So by the time we will get all the numbers 1 to 10. Okay, so this is how it will repeat. And how many times this loop will repeat? Who will decide that? The condition will decide that. So if the condition is true, these statements will be executed. Whenever this condition is false, then immediately the loop will be exited. So we have to make this condition false at certain point of time. We have to make this condition false at certain point of time. If I don't make it is false, then what will happen? This will go to infinite loop. It will keep on repeating multiple times. But how can we make this condition false? By using incrementation or decrementation. So if I don't use incrementation, then what happens? Every time I value remains the same. It will not increment. So it will keep on printing 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. The condition will never become false. So that loop will become infinite loop. It will keep printing all the numbers. Now observe here. I just commenting this I plus plus. So I value will not be incremented. So every time the condition will be satisfied. Every time I value is same, that is 1. So condition is always satisfying. This loop keeps repeating. It never exits. We need to forcefully exit the loop. Now observe here. When I'm running as a Java application, it will go to infinite loop. See, the output, it is keep printing 1 like this. We have to click on this red button, forcefully stop your program. So this is infinite loop. We keep on printing the same value every time because this condition never become false. Okay, this condition never become false. Yeah, this is same actually. We already discussed, right? I plus 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 I or I equal to I plus 1. You can write whichever notation you want. I'm just using some Java notation. Instead of I plus plus, you can write I equal to I plus 1. That is also correct. Or you can write plus plus I. That is also correct. Multiple ways, okay? We already discussed this incrementation. Okay, so system order println I. And if I comment this I plus plus, what is happening? Every time the same number is got printing and condition never become false. That's the reason it will go to infinite for loop, infinite value. So we have to make this condition false at certain point of time. So to do that, we have to use some incrementation. So now what happens? As soon as I value becomes 11, this condition becomes false, then it will exit from the while. So when I execute this run as Java application, it will print 1 to 10 numbers like this. So this is how exactly while loop works. Initialization is important, condition is important, and incrementation is also incremental. So we can increment by one or many. Okay, that depends upon your requirement. Okay, so here I just incremented by 1. Why I have incremented by 1? By my requirement is what? 1 to 10 numbers I want to print. In every iteration, how much value we need to increment here? Only 1. That's the reason I said by I plus plus. If you want increment by 2 or if you want increment by how you can change that number. No issues. The incrementation you can change. I will show you in the next example. Just hold on. Have some patience. Okay, this is simple basic example. 1 to 10 numbers we have printed. For that what we have done? Initialization point, condition, and then incrementation or decrementation. So 3 things we have used. Now let me show you one more example. Let's comment this. I'll show you multiple examples. Don't worry, you will understand. Okay, example 2. So this time I want to print hello message. Okay, hello message 10 times. I want to print hello message 10 times. Very simple example. I want to print hello message 10 times. Now tell me, what is the starting point? Hello message I want to print 10 times. Hello message I want to print 10 times. What is the starting point, condition and incrementation? So like this, hello. Hello message 10 times I want to print. First time, second time, third time and then 10th time. So 10 times I want to print. See here. We'll take the starting point is 1. Starting point is what? 1. So because we need to print 1 to 10 times, we have to print hello message. So in the I equal to 1. So how many times we have to print hello? How many times we have to print? 10 times. So what is the condition now? I less than or equal to 10. It is also same. Now what is the value we want to print? Hello message we want to print. So here, just to say hello. Okay, so this is a string. Hello message we want to print. And after printing hello message, we have to increment the I value. So now observe, when I run this code, this will print hello message 10 times. Exactly 10 times. Okay, so what is the difference in the previous example and this example? In the previous example, I've printed the I value directly. So it is printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But in that example, I'm not printing I value. I'm just printing the message hello multiple times. Every time. So first time I value 1. So it is printed hello and incremented I value by 2. Now 2 less than 10. Again condition is true. Now again it comes into the block. Hello message is executed one more time. I plus plus. I value becomes 3. 3 less than or equal to 10. Again condition is true. Then again hello message is executed. So how many times it will repeat like this? 10 times it will repeat. 10 times it will repeat. Okay. So this is how we can simply use while loop. So guys, you understood first and second examples? I will show you some more examples. So very basic example, how we can use looping statement and what is an advantage. So if you want to print hello message 10 times, you have to write 10 print statements. So instead of writing 10 print statements, I put only one statement inside the while loop and then repeating 10 times. Okay, repeating 10 times. What does that mean? Can we do using string means what? This should be number, okay? Starting point should be number. Repetition says numbers we need to use. Printing hello. Here we are printing hello, right? This is a string. Okay, this is a string actually. We are printing 10 times. And here we are printing the I value 10 times. That means what? We are printing number 10 times. Here we are printing string 10 times. Understood or any questions on this, guys? Very basic, very simple. So just initialization, the condition and then message. And here also same initialization, condition, instead of message I just directly printing I value. That is the only difference. Okay, both are same actually. So here we are printing the number I value, and here we're just printing the message. That's the only difference. Okay. Now let me show you one more example. So this time, example 3, I want to print even numbers, only even numbers between 1 to 10. I want to print only even numbers between 1 to 10. So what are the even numbers between 1 to 10? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So these are the even numbers, right? So I want to print only even numbers between 1 to 10. Even numbers between 1. So there are multiple approaches are there. So first let us start with the first approach. Only even numbers I want to print. That's my requirement. Just understand this. 1 to 10, I want to print only even numbers. So to print even numbers between 1 to 10. So there is another approach is there. Let me show you. This is approach 1. Let's comment this code. Okay. Now I want to print even numbers between 1 to 10, but I can use a different thing. So different approach. I can say approach 2. So here I will take initialization condition incrementation only by 1 only. Okay, so observe here. Very simple. I can say initialization. Int I equal to 1 I am taking. Starting from 1 to 10 even numbers we want to print. Let's take from 1 itself. And then in the while loop condition is also same. I less than or equal to 10. I less than or equal to 10. And inside the while loop I will just print the I value, then I will try to increment the I value plus plus. So what is an output you will get from this? It will just print 1 to 10 numbers. It will print all 1 to 10 numbers, right? But now I want to print only even numbers. I want to print only even numbers between this range. So now what we need to do is, before printing this I value, we have to check whether it is even or odd. If it is an even number, then print. If it is not even number, then don't print. Okay, if it is an even number, just print it. If it is not even number, don't print it. So condition is applied. If you want to apply the condition, which statement we have to use? So based on the condition, we have to execute this statement. So which condition we have to use? If condition we have to use. Now, before printing I value, I will check a number is even or not. How to check a number is even or not? Any number divided by 2 which is giving 0 as an output, that is an even number. So that you can put inside the if condition like this. Okay, now what exactly we are doing here? Before printing this I value, we are checking whether it is even or odd number. If this condition is satisfied, that is an even number, so we are printing it. If this condition is not satisfied, that is not even number, so this will not print and incrementation will happen. So else is not required here. Else part is not required. So why else is not required here? Why else is not required here? Because we are not finding the odd numbers. We are just printing only even number. So just observe here. When I run this as a Java application, see here we got even numbers. Okay, so we should not put this in the while loop. We should not put this in the while loop. I percentage 2 equal to 0. How can we put in the while loop? Because first we need to repeat, right? 1 to 10 numbers we have to repeat. For that we need to put condition in the while. See, if a condition and while condition is not the same, guys. Don't compare. Okay. So while condition decides how many times we have to repeat the loop. While condition decides how many times we have to repeat the loop. Okay, and this condition decides filter, which is acting as a filter. So we are just printing the I values here. But before printing the I value, we are filtering it. Based on certain condition, we are filtering the data. So if this condition is satisfied, then only print I value. If not satisfied, then don't print and go to the next value. Okay, so this is how this will execute. So when I execute this will print only even numbers between 1 to 10. It will not print odd numbers. This is another approach. So to print the even numbers between 1 to 10. Approach 1 and approach 2. Okay. Now, let me show you one more example. Okay, so my requirement is like this. Example 3 is over. Now example 4. Example 4. So I want to print 1 to 10 numbers. Okay, for every number I should specify even or odd. So for example like this, 1 odd number, 2 even number, 3 again odd number, 4 even number. Okay, like this I want to specify 10 again even number. So like this I want to print 1 to 10 numbers, and I want to print each number even or odd separately. 1 is odd number, 2 is even number, 3 is odd number, like this. So the same order, the same structure I want to print my output. Okay, so then what we can do? So first step, let us try to print 1 to 10 numbers directly, okay? So what I can do is int I equal to 1, starting point is 1, while I less than or equal to 10 times you have to repeat, and then I'll print I value every time. So when I execute this, what will happen? I plus plus. So this will print all 1 to 10 numbers, right? When I run as a Java application, so this will print 1 to 10 numbers. Now what we need to do? Every number I want to print even or odd. Along with this number, I value, I want to print whether it is even number or odd number. Okay, this is the output I want to get. So now what we need to do is, before printing this I value, check even or not. If I percentile 2 equal to 0, that means what? It is an even number, right? Print. So system.println I is concatenate with some string, let's say even, like this. So print the number first and say whether it is even or not. So if this condition is satisfied, what does it mean? It is an even number. So print a number along with the even. Suppose if this condition is not satisfied, else. If the condition is not satisfied, what does it mean? It is an odd number. It is an odd number, right? So again, if the condition is not satisfied, then again print I value, but specify which is odd number, like this. Okay? So I value 1, for example. Condition is true, print the value along with even. The condition is false, print I value along with the order. Then increment that value. Then again it will go up. Again check the condition is true, print even. If the condition is false, then print odd. Then again incrementation will happen. Okay, so now when I execute this, observe the output. Yes, we got the same thing, right? 1 odd, 2 even. 3 odd number, 4 one is even number, 5th one is odd number. Right? Exactly the same output we got. So what does it mean as, inside the looping statement also, we can use conditional statements. So to filter the data, if a condition will not repeat anything, okay, it is just a condition, based on that we can execute the statement. So in the while condition decides how many times we have to repeat the statements. If condition decides a filter, on what basis we want to execute the statement, that is decided by the if condition. Okay, so now like this we can print the output. So these are the examples of while loop. And sometimes we have to decrease the values. Instead of incrementation, we should also decrease the data. So for example,